Welcome to Hong Kong Horror and Taiwanese Terror Reviews. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Hong Kong horror review. Today we're going to review Mr. Vampire 2, another one of the Mr. Vampire films on this Lam Ching Ying vampire movie collection. This is Lam Ching Ying right here, a legendary actor who became so associated with these films that his nickname became Mr. Vampire. Really kind of an icon of horror, especially in Hong Kong, despite having a stuntman and martial arts background before that. He had worked with Sammo Hung on his stunt team, and there's a connection there. Sammo Hung is a producer on many of these films, and he does appear in a few. Now, this entire set of 17 films has many of the Mr. Vampire films, some of the official sequels and maybe not so official sequels, and a bunch of other films as well. Last year I reviewed Mr. Vampire. Go ahead and check out that review on the channel. This one is a little different. This one you have some of the same actors coming back but playing different characters, which of course they have to, since this one is set in modern times. The other one was set in the olden times. And this is basically a film where you have some archaeologists that uncover a family of vampires. And of course in these films, the vampires hop and they have pointy fingernails and they're jabbing their hands out like this. And oftentimes the Taoist priests will try to sort of guide them to the afterlife. And they can freeze them by affixing these yellow pieces of paper to their forehead where they've written some special Chinese characters. And of course they have many other abilities, levitating things, and I think sometimes blood. They cut their fingers and put dots of blood on their forehead that will stop them as well. The fun thing is, as you're watching these, if you're not familiar with the lore, you kind of learn as you go what the rules are. In this film, apparently sunlight kind of annoys them, but it doesn't kill them. There's one scene where a character is using a spotlight to keep one of the vampires back. But at any rate, the archaeologist in the beginning will uncover this family of vampires, mother, father, and son. And while transporting them back, what do you think is going to happen? One of the pieces of paper comes off. The vampires start to get loose. The child vampire gets separated, and he sort of gets adopted by a little girl, very innocent young little girl. She brings him into the house, hides him in the closet. Her older brother gets involved. They keep him away from the dad. Eventually she will wrap his head in like a shawl and give him some sunglasses so he can go outside. He plays with the other kids. He's hopping around on the playground equipment. He knocks over a bully for them, and this is all done to music, and it goes on a while, and it's a little schmaltzy in parts, and it's kind of obviously influenced by E.T., where, they had E.T. in the closet and they were dressing him up and disguising him and keeping him away from the parents for as long as possible. So that's a product of the 80s, of course. And, essentially that's pretty much it. They try to get a hold of these vampires once they get loose. There's not much more to tell other than that. Ewan Bial's character comes in rather late in the film. He plays a reporter who's kind of nosing around because he knows that they've got these vampires in the museum. And he unwittingly, lets them go. And there's a pretty good sight gag where he spills a bottle of this stuff. I guess it's supposed to be like ether. Remember the old Bugs Bunny cartoons when they always had the bottle of ether? It made everyone move around in slow motion. Well, that's what happens. So the vampires are trying to attack him, the mother and the father, and everything's in slow motion. It does go on a while. So some of these gags go on for a bit. I'm going to tell you that much. And despite the fact that Ewan Bial is in this, and also Moon Lee, who was in the first film, there's not a lot of martial arts in this one. And to the degree that there is, it's mostly Lam Ching Ying. doing a combination of martial arts and magic at the same time. It's just kind of weird, right? Yuen Biao and Moon Lee, and they don't really cut loose with many martial arts moves at all, really. But you have to review the movie we got, not the movie that we wanted. So, it's funny to see the vampires get loose in modern times. The police don't know what to do. Their bullets have no effect. The vampires are hopping from car roof to car roof, and there's some pretty great scenes. Lots of really good wire work. I saw somebody wrote on IMDb, "Oh, there's a goof. I saw one of the wires." Well, 99% of the time you can't. 99% of the time they do a great job as people are hanging upside down and doing all kinds of crazy things. The vampires also can do this Michael Jackson thing where they can lean over like this. Anytime they get knocked over, they just spring back up like totally stiff, and keep coming at you. And, there's just so many sight gags with this type of vampire. You've got like one piece of paper for two vampires and you stick it on this one and he freezes, but then the other one grabs you and you stick it on that one. And, it goes on and on and on, and it's just kind of slapsticky and fun. Didn't quite like this one as much as Mr. Vampire, but it does have its moments, and I'll be eager to see where they go with Mr. Vampire 3. Well, I don't know what happened there. I apparently lost some footage, but at any rate, we're almost at the end of the review, and I have developed kind of a rating system for these films since recording this review, which was a few weeks ago. At the time, obviously, this is the second movie on the Lam Ching Ying Mr. Vampire collection, vampire movie collection. I'm up to number 13 now, so I've seen quite a few of these, so now I kind of can put it into perspective a little more. Some of these films have more comedy, some have less, some are more family friendly, some are less, some emphasize the horror more, some emphasize the action more. So I'll just give you kind of a rating system which will let you decide, and of course this is just my opinion. So we'll start with the action, okay? Again, not all the martial arts action in the world is in this film, but I'm still going to give it 3 out of 5. Keep in mind, to get a 5 out of 5 is a mean feat, because some of these films feature people like Yuen Biao and Sammo Hung in outstanding, choreographed fight scenes. So the bar is set very high. So 3 out of 5 for not just the kung fu, but the overall action of the film. That's not too bad. So 3 out of 5 hopping vampires for the action. For the comedy, some of it landed, some of it didn't. Some of it went on a little long, Some of it was a little schmaltzy, as I said. So we'll go 3 out of 5 fake vampire teeth for the comedy. Now for the scary atmosphere and setting. It's in a modern setting, modern day setting, of course. They did a pretty good job with that. The archaeological dig in the beginning is kind of creepy in parts. And the museum itself is kind of a creepy setting when the vampires do sort of awaken and start attacking Yuen Biao's character. So again, 3 out of 5. So how would I rate the whole movie, which also takes into account some performances and some X factors that don't really fall into those aforementioned categories? I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 Lam Ching Ying unibrows. Okay? There he is. 3 out of 5 Lam Ching Ying unibrows. A pretty solid entry into the Mr. Vampire series and a pretty fun film to watch. And come back again for more Hong Kong horror reviews. Thanks. Later.